Hello and welcome to That's the Whole Tip. I'm your host Blake, my wonderful co-host, as always, effervescent Oprah. And how the fuck are you, brother?
Oh my god, I just swallowed the word.
Imagine finding a word like effervescent off the top of your head at 4 in the morning. That's
I don't even know what that means. My language skill is so limited that
I think it means like almost like glowing, you know? Like,
glowing.
Like, they use
I
it
don't
here
feel
to
like
market.
I'm glowing now, but
They use it here to market Schweppes soft drink. They call it Schweppevescence, but effervescence is the actual word. It's like bubbly.
a bubbly. Okay,
Yeah. Oh
yeah. I had to run to the shitter a couple of times today, so I guess that's
it's
what
bubbling out of you.
Man, high speed projectile.
Oh no! Oh no! No! That monkey from fucking Planet of the Apes. Oh no!
Yeah. Oh no.
That's me. Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh fuck! What's going on, man? How you been?
Oh, there's been a lot of going on in the in this little room, that's for sure. A lot of creating, a lot of new stuff going on. So yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. But it's related to the episode, so let's keep
We'll
that.
get into it. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Mm.
You got any
Yourself then?
man, not bad. Quick update on my Warhammer challenge. I've done one custodian. One. My granddad died and my hyperfixation switched, and I'm currently not doing too well on my challenge. However, my workmate Lockie reckons that he bet Scar that I wouldn't finish this by January. So now it's personal, and I think I'm gonna just have to do it. So yeah, it might have to be some late nights, but I kind of want to do it just to fuck Lockie over, you know.
Was there any stakes in the bet?
I don't know. He didn't say.
Because I mean, you could get another box like it has
You know, man, never bet against me because I will win. I will pull it out my ass, you know.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, like, there's not much detail in the custodian, really.
If you're doing the gold paint job, relatively easy.
They're already done gold with the rattle cane too.
Exactly.
So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. No,
you know?
I thought that I was gonna join you on that, and probably around the same time that we came out with it, I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So I took ready all the paints. The paints are like all on my desk at the moment, and I put the models ready to be primed with the airbrush, and it never happened.
Nuts at the maybe table.
Nice of the I'm almost there table.
I'll get to it. Table. Yeah.
Yeah. However, I have been busy with other stuff, so
that's true. You have. Well, see, my problem is my thing that I set myself the whole like, by the fucking big battle of fucking Osgiliath or whatever. I'm like, I was watching Lord of the Rings, and now my hyper focus has already shifted. So I'm like, I'm just gonna have to exchange it for, if I get it done, I get to buy myself whatever the fuck hobby I'm into. $300 worth of shit at the time. Like, I don't fucking know anymore. Roll a dice, see where it lands, throw a dart on the board. Week to week, I don't fucking know, man. I think they have medication for this.
Yeah, it's a struggle, isn't it? Like, getting into a new thing so many times and just like, all right, I have 100 other things that I should have done before I actually got to this, but no, I don't want to do that.
It's just constant. It really is. Before we get into it though, too much, we do have an editor now. You guys will be meeting him on our next episode. His name's Scar. He's also a mod for the Discord now. And I do have to humbly apologise to him, Scar. The first 4 minutes of this is going to suck because I have my fan on. So, welcome to That's the Hobby Table, buddy.
Oh no.
I was looking at my audio thing and I'm like, why is there so many crackles, you know? Oh, that's why.
That's fine. I'll just stick a noise gate on it.
Right,
It's fine.
it's 97% humidity here. I forgot it was even on because it just felt normal, you know?
Yeah. You
Oh, fuck.
get
Yo, you know what I
nice
did
and
by the other
toasty.
day? Apart from the 2 boxes of Pepsi I told you about in the other discussion, I bought myself, I found out they have Bluetooth receivers for PlayStation 2, right? And not just
Oh,
like for
okay.
PlayStation 2 controllers, for modern controllers. So it slots
Oh,
into the control slot of my PS2, and I can use my DualSense on my Xbox controller with it, which is fucking
that's
sick. Or a
nice.
PS3 controller, because I have a bunch of those. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so because like my least favorite part about playing PlayStation 2 games is dealing with like the old controls where like the buttons don't work too great. Whenever like I don't know, I find that those controls just don't hold up well over time versus say like an old Nintendo controller. Um,
Yeah.
and they're a lot harder to work on as well, and they're just not as good.
No,
So
no, I agree.
yeah, I think it cost me like $40 or something, and I'm gonna give it a go. If it's good, I'll buy a second one. That way, me and my buddy can play Return of the King on the old rear projection back there.
Great game. Great
I
game.
have
So
the
much
two.
Lord of the Rings talk lately.
That's how it is.
It's, it
Yeah.
creeps in.
It's because we ain't had nothing but maggoty bread for 3 stinking days.
Oh, what about his legs? He doesn't need his legs.
He doesn't need those. That's funny as fuck.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Bad
for
flesh.
sure.
But me and my buddy Justin were planning eventually when we get time, just one Sunday, a carton of Coronas between us, like a carton of beer in the middle, a controller in each hand, and just go at 2 towers and Return of the King. See how far we get.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
I love those sorts of days.
Oh man, I, if I'm like alone, I'll probably binge like the 3 extended movies
They're
in a
your
day.
sad movies, aren't they? Like I remember talking to you, you were having a rough
Yeah.
week a few weeks ago. And you're like, oh, what are you up to, man? You're right. You're like, yeah, just rewatching all Lord of the Rings again. I'm like, oh, are you okay? You're like, well, you know, oh.
Yeah. Well, it's
Uh,
either that or the Star Wars, and if we're gonna go into Star Wars, you're gonna have to rewatch all the fucking shows as well. So
yeah, that's a big wormhole.
yeah.
Oh, actually, the new Lord of the Rings movie comes out soon. The animated one comes out this month. War of the
What?
Rohirrim. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
You know,
No, I don't.
bro, we're getting
I've been in the dark.
we're getting an animated movie in the Peter Jackson universe of Lord of the Rings, right?
Okay.
It's an anime movie basically of War of the Rohirrim. It's got like all the cool music and shit, and like it's all drawn like to have the same style as the films. And that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. It looks fucking awesome, man. Check out the trailer after this when we're done. It looks really cool. It comes out like this month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or
10
aren't they
out of
also
10.
gonna do like a Gollum movie?
They are. Yeah, they are, apparently.
Oh man, so much Lord of the Rings stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited.
I'm
Hell
also excited. My ring is prepared, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Your sphincter.
Whoa.
Not that ring. Oh.
Little bit.
Oh man. Oh,
Oh,
all right.
anyway,
So,
now
what
we're on
is
to,
this episode all about then?
well, today, for our intro, as it says,
A rimtro?
intro, introduction, Reggie, Rodro. Yeah, we're gonna talk about PLA printing and prop making. So,
Yeah.
like, we've done a few episodes on 3D printers. This is specifically about the ones that use the rolls of filament for bigger things to make props and stuff like that, not resin. We'll do that another
Yeah.
day, but this is specific today.
Yeah, for sure,
Because
sure.
why, you may ask? Because Obi has a hyper focus, so we're indulging that.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I ended up buying a PLA 3D printer,
Mhm.
and I have been. uh, It's been 3 weeks now since I had it, and I think the printer probably had a downtime of probably just like a day. It's been running constantly, constantly. So it's yeah, that's my new thing.
It's his whole personality for the next month, okay, guys?
Probably, yeah, yeah, yeah. I had a coworker at work that wow, coworker at work, Christ. Yeah, but he was also into 3D printing, and he has like I think the same one as you. And it's just like, oh, I haven't set it up yet. It's usually my winter projects that get the printer working. It's like, well,
Yeah.
okay, and I just buy it, and everything just straight up works.
I would like my 3D printer to work again, but it's still being indexed, so
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's bed adhesion issues I'm having, like as in shit's just not sticking to the bed, and it's just sort of
yeah,
becoming spaghetti. So I'm
yeah,
buying the pads that go on top of the glass. They're like the twisty ones. I'm
yeah,
buying those, and I'm gonna buy spray adhesive because I
yeah,
don't feel confident using spray adhesive on a glass bed because it's gonna be a prick to clean. So I'll use it
yeah.
on the flexi, whatever that shit's
The
called.
flex plate, yeah,
Yeah, on the flex plate, and then if it doesn't work, I can just wash it off with warm soapy water. Cool, you
yeah,
know. But if it does work,
yeah.
then that's huge. I can go back to being a Mandalorian
Exactly.
and steal your files off you for certain things.
Exactly. I actually ended up buying the full armor set for the Mandalorian as well from
Nice.
yeah, so that's and I've checked and I can fully print the Mandalorian helmet on so it fits me. So I'm definitely gonna be doing that sometime.
Yeah,
Probably.
I mean, I have specific. Like, I've spent hours and hours and hours on Etsy looking at different models, and
Yeah,
I have a specific one I've picked out that I want for my helmet. And I'm doing
yeah,
sort of a mix and match kit. I'm going to make my own Mandalorian character. I want to actually apply
yeah.
for the Mandalorian mercs eventually, like to be part of that,
Okay.
like as my own character. But,
Yeah.
you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
It'd be super.
Honestly, if we do, we should probably paint ours the same way, then we can be a clan.
Yeah, purple and gold.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Yeah. We
Let's
should do
fucking
that.
go.
We should do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
actually, so I don't know if you know, but Shane, my little brother, he does tattooing.
Yeah.
Just home job stuff. He's getting quite good, and the conversation of him tattooing the Nice the Hobby Table logo on me has come up. So,
Oh.
how
It's
dedicated
gonna
are you,
happen.
Oblerone? You want to get
Well,
matchings?
well, yes, but I don't want to get it from somebody in Sweden because that's expensive. But
Patreon
we had.
money, Patreon. Nah,
Oh boy. Yeah, no, I'd probably get one.
like
That
just
that would be awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, just like the sticker
on the
logo
leg. Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, on the leg. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably put it on the arm somewhere. Cause like one arm I want to do like music inspired, and one arm I want to
Yeah.
do like whatever. And like part of it is gonna probably be a Pokemon sleeve, so
Well,
probably shove it in
if
there somewhere.
if what I was talking to you about earlier comes through, we're not going to talk about the podcast, but if that's the thing, I have an entire Dragon Ball Z sleeve planned.
Yeah.
So I'm going to
Yeah.
get the 7 Dragon Balls across my knuckles, and then you know Akira Toriyama's little robot that he used to have on his manga, like as his character
Yeah.
Toribot with a little gas mask. I'm going to get him on the pinky. So 7 Dragon
Nice.
Balls, and then on my hand, I want to have like the Saiyan Royal Crest with like cool effects, and then yeah, just Dragon Ball Z up to there with Shenron's head on my chest.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Tattoos. It's awesome.
fuck yeah. It'll cost me a lot of money, but
Oh.
dreams.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. How did we get into this conversation again?
I
Christ.
derailed us from 3D printing.
That was fast as fuck. Mandalorian stuff.
Mandalorian clans
Yeah, exactly.
with a C, not a K.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, no. No, I'm keen to as fuck, and I probably want to like. I'm gonna print it off like the actual Mandalorian files, but I'll probably end up modifying it in some
Yeah,
weird form
yeah.
anyway to make it a little bit more personal.
I
But
really want to do like one of the traditional Mandalorian blades as well to have like on the back of my kit, as well
I
as like a
bought the
blast. Like,
files.
yeah, I want to make something a bit more custom than like just a file. Like I want to sort of really go at it,
Well,
you know?
I'll show you what I got.
Like yeah,
Oh
because I reckon that'd be
yeah,
sick, you know?
yeah,
Have it like
yeah,
on the
for
small
sure.
of your back or something like that, or like on your chest where you can just like, you know?
Yeah, it's like I've probably mentioned this before, but I bought these Space Marine files as well. So I have like all the Space Marine 2 main helmets, and I also managed to buy the armor files for a Space Marine armor.
You
But on
really
the other
are
hand,
the
it's
Warhammer 40,000.
like I could if I wanted to, but like it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be really hard to do, and like the Space Marine armor, I think might be a little bit out of my league for now. So I
Yeah.
think if I would start with the Mandalorian stuff, I think that might end up preparing me better for
What
making a
what
Space
people
Marine armor.
don't understand when they're making the armor is that the armor's not the hard part. It's
Mm.
having something to attach the armor to and wear. Like,
Yeah,
especially for me being a bigger guy, like a lot of people use like Dickies coveralls for their
yeah,
Mandalorian flight suit. They don't make them in my size. I'm too big. So it's
uh,
like, fuck, okay, figure something else out, you know? They gotta do
yeah,
custom shit, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, cool. And then you look at how big a Space Marine is. You got two choices. You can either be the smaller Space Marine, or you have to be on platforms while you do it to be bigger. Like, it's just
yeah,
like, my god. But there's nothing stopping you from just having cool helmets and shit around the place that are wearable. Like, that's
exactly.
cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Are you gonna do LEDs for the lenses?
Uh,
I
I
feel like you
might
should.
pick up a set. I might pick up some to do it, but if I'm gonna be wearing it, I don't think I want to have them in there. So I think I'm gonna have to figure something out to swap it out, so I can
If you
actually
go on
wear it.
AliExpress, they actually
Yeah.
have lenses that you can use on helmets that you can see through that are LED. They're like
Okay.
mesh, and they
Yeah.
so maybe you could do like a plastic lens
Mm.
with those behind it and just light them up red, whatever color you
Yeah.
want, to still see through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
send you
I'll
a
figure something out. I've I haven't done the lenses yet. Like I've been working with the helmet itself, and I like some parts are ready, and I'll
yeah,
show
they
them
look real
off
good.
later. But I've had some struggles. But how about we tackle the episode and we'll
Hmm.
talk about the issues along the
Yeah,
way
yeah.
because
So,
it'll come up anyway.
all right. Well, first of all, you know, is like we're saying PLA resin, whatever. What is actually the difference for people that are uninitiated? Like, you know, everyone
Yeah.
thinks resin is like the yeah, like it is, but like PLA has its place. You know,
Yeah. Sure.
yeah,
And I think PLA or FDM printing, which is with filament printing, uh, is better for like making bigger things and props and stuff like that. Actual functional items that you could use in your everyday life. Like I printed out like a seatbelt clip so that at work I just clip that in the seatbelt and I don't have the beeping sound anymore. That's totally illegal in Sweden, but I didn't mention that. But you know, like just functional things and bigger things and props and stuff like that. And resin, that's where you actually get your detail stuff out. So
yeah,
if you have miniatures, that's perfect.
yeah.
If you want things with high detail, resin is your go-to. But if you want big things and mass produce them easily, I think PLA is gonna be your go-to.
And it is worth noting though, like PLA and like FDM printers, they can do a surprising amount of detail.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
my
yeah,
friend has a Godzilla controller holder, so it's about yay big, which is big.
yeah,
But like the detail on that thing was still awesome. The only downside is you have quite large ley lines, even when you're set
yeah,
low. You'll always see
yeah,
them, but just depending on what it is, it might not be that important to you. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, or maybe the ley lines is just whatever. Like if you
yeah,
have FTM printer, printing terrain for Warhammer would be perfect. Because,
yeah,
like, yeah, okay, you're gonna have some ley lines, but who gives a shit if it's brick
yeah.
and metal walls? Like, you're not gonna care that much, right? And
Sure,
the amount of
sure.
time to print a wall out of FDM, you print a whole ass wall on your build plate if you set it right, like you stack it right. Whereas a
Yeah,
resin printer, it's gonna cost you a shitload of money and a shitload of time. You
yeah,
know, because resin's far more expensive and it takes
yeah,
a far longer to print.
yeah,
So the trade-offs are often worth it with PLA.
yeah. Sure, I agree there. And you're talking about layer lines here, but like uh, I've bought a 0.2 millimeter nozzle for the FDM printer, and like
Yep.
you can get crazy good detail. Even, I mean, if you spray a filler primer on it, probably be fine. But like
Yeah.
you're gonna be printing forever with 0.2.
I
And
think it also depends on your printer too. Like
yeah,
if you're using something like a Creality or whatever, like you know, they're not going to hit the same levels of detail as a bamboo and things like
no,
that. Like it just won't. But that's okay as well. Like that's why you do your
yeah,
post production and things like that. You sort of deal with it.
yeah,
You know.
exactly. And I think printing off in the different layer heights itself is also gonna affect how much
Mm.
you see them. So like I'm printing off usually in the lowest as possible to have as least sanding as possible. But the trade off is that it takes a lot longer to print, and there's
Yeah.
gonna be more risk of it actually failing.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm running into most of the times when I'm running in the lowest layer lines as possible.
I mean, man,
That's been my biggest issue.
when we were playing D&D, which would have been back in 2018, we started.
Yeah.
So a while ago now, right? 6 years.
Yeah.
Our DM, he got one of those shitty like Chinese 3D printers, right? And the shit he was printing with that were amazing. Was amazing. Like
Yeah.
it added so much to our to our game. You know what I mean? Like we had like tiles clicked together. You know, and like yeah, okay, they weren't like woo high def resin, but like they worked, man. They looked. You
Yeah.
looked at that and went, oh yeah, that's a brick. Click. You know,
Yeah.
like you knew. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, and things have only gotten better. You know,
Yeah, for
but
sure. For sure.
you will deal with layer lines.
Yeah. At some point. Yeah.
At some point, you will deal with them. What do we do about them? There's a few ways to get rid of them in terms of post production, things like that.
Yeah.
There's a few ways to go about it, so we're going to talk about them. What's your go to, Obi?
What like I haven't gotten the process really down yet, but what I would start off with is at least doing a minute amount of sanding uh, to knock off at least the biggest points in the layer lines. Uh,
Yeah.
and you can go as smooth as you want with it, but I wouldn't do it too much then. I would just get rid of most of the start of at least of the layer lines, and
Yeah.
then you move on to the next piece, which would be some filler. If you're
Mm.
putting two pieces together on a helmet, for example, you're gonna have a seam there, so covering that up with
Yeah.
one of
We'll go in how to glue pieces as well later for you guys,
uh,
in case you're a little bit lost. But blending seams
yeah,
is like, yeah, super
that's an
important.
art.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And the thing is with these, right, like you can sand it to the cows come home and it'll
yeah,
feel smooth and it'll look smooth, But unless you've put some form of filler on it, the moment you add paint, you'll see it. You'll see the layer
Yeah,
lines. You, you,
exactly.
you won't pick up on it. You'll think, oh, it's smooth as smooth as fucking whoever's butt. But
Yeah,
it just won't be. I've seen it a bunch in a lot of the Mando groups I'm in, where people are like, oh, I sanded it to 1,000 grit, and then look, there's layer lines, and people are like, did you feel it? No. There you go.
yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, you definitely want to use some fillers. Now, there's a few ways you can do that.
Yeah,
One way that I've seen people do, which they don't really recommend as much anymore, but a lot of the YouTubers, is actually to paint it with UV resin, especially for bigger parts. Like, say, if you're doing like a Mandalorian helmet and it's all one big piece, you can paint it with the literally 3D printing resin, stay well ventilated, and then put it out in the
yeah,
sun, or use UV lights to cure it, and then
yeah,
sand it down. And like, obviously, wear the right PPE and stuff like that. You want to bring that shit in, but because it's then the structure of the PLA plus the smoothness of the resin fills all those valleys, and you usually only have to do one layer of that with some
yeah,
good sanding, and you're good.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I'd
there is
still
other ways
recommend
though
doing
too.
like a yeah, I'd still recommend doing a primer coat over that anyway, just so you
Yeah,
can double check everything.
yeah,
But um, there's also a product called filler primer, which is what I've
yeah,
been using vigorously to fill it in, and it works to an extent. Um,
yeah,
you're gonna have to do quite a lot of layers and then sand again anyway. So you're never gonna get rid of sanding completely. Like there's always gonna be sanding involved.
yeah. And the problem with
So
filler primer is like you spray it off and it looks smooth. You sand it and you go, it's still some of the deeper valleys are still there. Go
yeah,
again, go again. And it's like it is very repetitious. Um,
yeah,
the one that I've seen people do is they get car bondo, like the cream stuff in the tubes, not like the tins, but like the tubes, and they actually mix that with some acetone. I believe it's acetone.
yeah,
Um, I get acetone and the other shit confused, like thinners. And I get confused in my head, but I'm
yeah,
sure it's acetone.
yeah,
And they make it into like a sludge, like a wet paint. You know what I mean? Like a paint, and they will
yeah,
just cover it, and then they'll
yeah,
cover it again. And what ends up happening is once the acetone dries off, because it's got quite a low boiling point,
yeah,
it'll dry off, and it's covered in basically car bondo, which is
yeah,
like not that hard to sand and very good at filling in valleys. So then you go over it, sand that bad boy down, get that
yeah,
to where you want it, rinse it off with some water, let it dry, then hit it with filler primer, and then you can go from there. Like if you hit it with filler primer, then another sand, from there, I guarantee you'll be pretty much good to go. Like you'll be like glass at that point.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
I've
yeah,
I've on my main helmet. I was starting to get the process down, um, and when you've done your final coat of filler primer, just quickly spray it with like some other color paint, and then you sand everything, and you sand so you don't see any of the black anymore. Then you
yeah,
know that'll be completely smooth again.
yeah,
So that's gonna be like a guide coat to sand to get everything correctly,
yeah,
and that's where I was at yesterday with my helmet. And we'll get into the next part with how to glue for what happened
yeah,
there. But
yeah. So
yeah,
like, if you use basically just the cheapest paint for the guide paint, like cheapest color,
yeah,
you use like
yeah,
a white or a black or whatever, like that'll help you a bunch. And like Obi said, if there's any valleys or like
yeah,
bits like that, say you want a nice smooth Mandalorian helmet and you're gonna be doing stuff where you need a really smooth coat, you might not notice it while it's primed, but when you do
yeah,
that guide coat, you'll notice that there's any dents and valleys and stuff that you need to do more work on. So it's better to
exactly.
notice here and go, fuck, I have to go back and do
Yeah,
more work than it is to put all the paint on and go, shit, I have
and
to
then
start again. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So
Getting it right before you actually start painting it is definitely a lifesaver.
it's that
Um,
old measure twice, cut once thing, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
once the paint's on, it's a bitch to get off. So you don't really want to have
I
to go
mean,
again.
you can
You
still
can go
sand it
again.
off. but like it'll
It's such a
just cost
waste
you
of
more
time and
material.
effort.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because the paint has to dry properly before you can start sanding it again. So
yeah,
that's where you're basically gonna have most of your time being is painting. Doesn't take a lot of time. Sanding doesn't take a lot of time, but if you've primed it, it needs to cure properly before you can start sanding
yeah. Be patient, man.
again.
Be patient.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
that's kind of where because I was like, okay, I can actually really finish this tonight and get paint on it and actually show it when we're gonna record, and it didn't happen. So yeah,
The
it is
hobby
what it
gods
is.
were unkind.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I almost fucking threw it in the wall. That's how angry I was, but whatever. I didn't. So
Uh,
I
uh,
kind of quickly want to intervene here with some different kinds of filament, um,
yeah,
because there
yeah,
is quite a lot of different types that you can print with.
yeah. Shoot, man.
And off the head, the most basic one will be PLA. You have like different forms of PLA, PLA plus, some companies call it, or whatever.
Yep.
Um, this one is gonna be what most people start out with printing, and it's actually one of the more harder ones to sand on as well.
Yeah.
So, because if you sand on one spot too much, it will actually melt the plastic and it will become a bitch to sand after that. Um, so, I've recently started printing with PETG, which is a little bit, it's more resistant to heat. So, if you would leave a PLA helmet out in your car, it will actually melt. It will lose its shape and it will droop.
Mind
So,
you, it has to be pretty fucking hot for that to happen because
yeah,
I have
but
PLAs,
Australian weather,
but I live in
it,
Australia and I have
yeah.
PLA stuff out and about. I've never had an issue in my house. Maybe in my
In your
car.
house, yeah,
Maybe in
yeah,
my car,
that's
yeah. But
yeah,
it gets pretty damn hot here and it's been
yeah,
alright, so.
yeah. But if you're gonna keep it in your car for like an hour or two in the blistering sun in Australia or
Or
wherever
Texas.
you live, it's yeah, that's gonna change it.
Yeah.
So Pet-Chi is a little bit more resistant to that, and on top of it, it's a little bit easier to
Yeah.
sand as well.
So now I know it sounds
Uh,
like Opie's saying pitchy. He's saying PETG is what you
yeah,
want to type in when you're looking for it. He's pronouncing it like you would say it, but it's
Pet-Chi,
yeah,
yeah,
PETG is what you want
yeah,
to just Google there, yeah. But he's saying
yeah.
PETG because it's fun and easier.
Yeah, it's easier. There's a couple of different more.
Yeah,
There's
people do
also T,
ABS and things like that.
yeah, ABS, which is gonna interact really well with the acetone because then you can do acetone smoothing on it, and then you can fuse it together with like the actual plastic glue that we use for our miniatures. Uh, and but on the other hand, that one's a bitch to print with. So you're gonna need to have an enclosure for your printer then if you're gonna
And I
print
think
with
they use
ABS.
quite large nozzles for that too, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, they clog easy. There's a lot more issues going on with ABS than with PLA and PETG. So I wouldn't recommend it. There's also ASA, which is kind of similar to ABS. There's TPU, which is the flexible that you
Oh, yeah.
may have seen lately. That's like printing shoes. That people have been printing Crocs and stuff like that with the. Uh, there's probably a couple more that I'm missing out on the top of my head, but
You
I
know what
think the
is
main prominent
super
ones
cool
is
is when they add stuff into the PLA. So like they do
yeah,
like iron infused ones where like
yeah,
you can
wood,
rust it, like and
yeah,
stuff. I think that's real cool.
yeah, yeah. Well, I was looking at one that has wood in it as well, so you can
Yep.
actually get like a wood feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
kind of
I don't
cool,
know.
but
I've
you
only
need
been into this 3 weeks, so I'm still experimenting with a lot of stuff. So
when you
it's,
use stuff like that and like just from what I know with my printer, if you're using filament that has like shiny shit in it or shit that's not just plastic, you need the hardened steel nozzles not the
Yeah.
brass ones, because it'll just shred them up otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting a clog in mine, so I'm gonna have
Oh,
to do some cleaning
this
and
is where
stuff
it
like that. So
starts. That's what happened to
yeah,
mine, and then spaghetti.
yeah, yeah. I've had a couple of spaghetti prints, but like it comes up with like some holes in the print, so I don't know if you can see that. If it's there.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, there's like a big layer line, and there's like a
Yeah,
hole somewhere in there.
that's
So
alright.
yeah, it
It is
there's
what it
also maintenance,
is.
but yeah. But yeah, there's different kind of materials, so definitely check out what would be most appropriate for your personal use in buying, and save yourself some sanding maybe if you go with a different one.
Or don't be a
Don't
bitch
stick
and
to
just
paper.
sand.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Get
All right,
if you're
that
gonna
was
get
my
it,
little
if you're gonna get
introduction.
one of these 3D printers, buy yourself a small mouse sander. A little
Yep,
guys. Yeah.
I did that. It's been going wild and spraying dust all over my garage, but
Yep.
look,
Your
it is
wife
what
will
it
love
is.
you.
No, she did not.
my, mine didn't care. She's like, you idiot. I'm just covered in dust.
Yeah.
Alright, man.
Uh,
So, painting this shit, what's the go? Do we need to use enamels and oil based stuff, or is just the normal acrylics we use on Warhammer all good?
you can do whatever you want on this, to be honest, but I think acrylics is going to give you the best and easiest result because you're working with such big surfaces. Just use spray cans as far as you can go, and
Yep.
then do some hand brush painting after. Like I'll quickly show a piece that I'm working on is from my helmet, and
Yep.
like I've sanded it silky freaking smooth
Yeah, it looks
on the
nice.
top at least, and I've just painted this with basically the cheapest hobby paint I can find.
There you go.
So, and that's only it. I haven't done any hand painting on it yet, so
Yeah.
I'm probably
Once you
gonna
do some
do some
weathering and things like
weathering.
that, it'll turn out pretty good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do that when I've finished everything and put it all together. Like weathering is what you use to tie it all together.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, and the good thing is when you're using acrylic, you can use all the same techniques you do on Warhammer, but just upscale. So, like,
exactly. Yeah.
you get literally some lead belcher on a bit of sponge and dab it around to the bits where you want the paint to look like
Yeah.
it's sort of cracked off, it's scratched off, and a little bit of skag brown, fucking, you could use all your oil washes and stuff like that. Exact same as Warhammer, just big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this helmet pristine clean and then do a helmet where I do like super heavy weathering on or whatever. I haven't figured it out. Like I'm just in the experimenting phase at the moment. So I at least want to get it together and completely glued. Together.
I
So
will say, if we do the Mandalorian kind of thing, I want us to be quite clean. I want us to look regal,
yeah, yeah,
regal, like
sure.
ready to go.
Hell yeah, yeah. I'm keen for that.
I don't know if I told you, but I actually have a few friends that are keen to do a Mandalorian clan. So we'll come up with
Yeah.
the color scheme and we'll just get it going.
I finished another piece on the helmet, and I've done mostly spray paint on this as well.
Yeah.
So the
The
black
graphite looks
is
amazing.
yeah. So the black here's like where's the seam line. You can see a
Oh, yeah.
little
Yeah, I can
bit,
see that.
but I've gotten it pretty smooth, so you don't see a line at least. So I'm happy.
The thing is, man, you're not gonna notice that. Like,
No,
you'll notice
exactly.
it, but no one else is going to.
When it's on your head, nobody's gonna notice it.
They're too impressed
But, yeah.
there's a fucking space marine in front of them.
Exactly. So I don't know if there. I got the shine there.
Yeah.
So what I've used for that is just gloss black paint, spray paint.
Yeah.
And then I did a graphite powder rub on top of that, and that's basically it. That's just sand smooth, gloss black paint, and some graphite powder, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'm excited to get it together like that. Getting this piece together was just an achievement already for me. So I'm excited to add the dome to it and then put the piece in front. So
So, for the record, what Obi's done there for the graphite, if I'm not wrong, is you painted it gloss black, correct? And then
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
rubbed on graphite.
yeah.
Now,
Basically, just rub it in, buff your paint job with the graphite.
now the reason we do that, right, is because in the Mandalorian, right, they don't
Yeah,
do it that way. But this is the closest we can get for normal mortals, and the reason for that is because the paint they used on Mando's actual armor is a paint
yeah,
called Luster. Now I'm looking at a can of it right now in Australia, and it is $650 for for under a liter of paint.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so it's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
You know,
and I
yeah,
think
it's
with this
prone, but
technique, you can get pretty damn close. It's
I
not
think
going to
you
be
can get
exactly, but
70%
it's
there,
and that's good enough for me.
but you're
If
getting
I'm going
there
to be honest.
for a 100th of the price.
Yeah, I like the tub that I bought was I think 20 Australian dollars,
Yep, Amazon, shit
and
like that. Yep,
that will last me many projects. I
yep,
think I could probably build 3 or 4 Mando armors with that. So
yep.
here's another piece I've almost finished, and I've kind of done a little bit similar effects here.
Oh, on the edge of the
Is
blade, though, yeah, where it's sharp.
Yeah,
That looks
exactly.
really cool.
So on the edge I did the gloss black, and then the rest I did matte black, and then I did the whole graphite rub on it again. And then on this part I did something with charcoal instead, and that's matte black under there. So
Oh,
it gives it a little bit more of a darker metallic tone. It's not quite metallic, but it just gives it a different tone.
I think if I have a 3D printed katana, like or like anything like that, and I want to do the Harmon line, I think I'll paint it in lead belcher, right?
Yeah,
Mostly, and then I'll paint, yeah, and then I'll do mask off where I want to do with the thing, and have lead
yeah,
belcher, and then have like the masked off part be the fucking
the
graphite,
graphite rub.
so it like
Yeah,
blends, so it look like a Harmon line, you know.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
yeah,
No,
you can
it's
get really creative, man. It's just like with your Warhammer, you get out of it what you put in, and you're only limited by your creativity for what you want to do in the medium.
yeah,
That's all there
sure,
is.
sure.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, weathering. Yeah. Now.
yeah, weathering. Oof,
Yeah.
that's a
Well, we
whole other
basically
can
just
of
covered
worms.
that.
Yeah,
Really.
but there's different kind of weathering to this, like, um, but yeah, in general, if you it's Warhammer scale, Warhammer stuff, you can use your Warhammer techniques basically on this stuff as well. Yeah,
100%.
just bigger scale. Yeah, that's right. So use your oil washes, use some sponges. Sponges are very well for this because
Yeah.
it's such a big scale. So I
Yeah.
even
And
use sponges on the Warhammer, so why
same.
not on
Yeah.
this?
And literally, your big makeup brush that you bought in your set that you bought from eBay that we told you
Yeah.
to buy months and months and months ago, you finally have a use for it. You can go dip in your fucking wash of whatever
Yeah.
cheap brown you have mixed up in water and just go for the rust, you know, wipe off the excess. Like, it's actually, weathering's my favorite part of a project. It
Okay.
really
Yeah.
is. Like, that sort of stuff. I miss it, you know? I did that.
Yeah.
I showed it on stream before back in the day. I did my friend's scorpion mask, and it was like film quality weathering. You know, like
Yeah.
it looked damn good. So I gotta get my printer running, dude, because I miss making shit like that. Just
Yeah.
it's just fun, you know.
Yeah, exactly. It's been great fun having a thing, and it because I bought a bamboo, it just works, and like there's so much good support on it. Like I can't recommend this brand enough.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Which
like
one did you buy again?
I bought the A1, which is the not it's the beginner model, but not the entry model. So like they have an A1 and an A1 Mini, and the A1 Mini was like I think $250 or something
How big's your
on
build
their
plan?
Black
That? That's
Friday.
not too bad.
The A1, the build plate is 250
I
by
know,
250. So it's not
dude.
tiny, but a Mando helmet fits exactly on it. at least scale for me. So
Won't for me because my head's too big.
yeah,
But that's alright because I can do everything else on that. Honestly, man, I'm buying one eventually. I'm doing it.
yeah. I can't recommend one enough. Like the
Yeah.
A1 has been great. The only down part is that it's a bed slinger. So if you don't want that, you buy the P1S, and I think I might upgrade to that at some point because the bed slinger just throws your long stuff off. I've been trying to print off some
Oh.
Harry Potter ones, and they're falling off all the time.
So
So
you want the
uh,
P1? Is that correct?
yeah, exactly.
How
That's a
much
little
is
bit more
that?
pricier because you can buy two A1s for that same price. But
But okay, so that's $1,000. Yeah, right.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm good.
I
That's a
think the
lot.
A1, yeah, the A1 is definitely it's a good compromise, really. And
Honestly,
if you
that's a lot of Patreon subscriptions there, guys. So come on, come on.
hell yeah, no, it's good. It works, and like I can control it from my app, which is just great
Yeah,
because like that means that I can put on a 2 hour, a 2 day print, and just every time I'm on a break, I just check my phone quickly.
yeah.
Oh, it's still running. There's no poop anywhere. All right, good.
See, that's the thing,
Continue.
man. I would love to be back just into printing it and having fun with fun colors and whatnot. I gotta try and get my shit working. I might buy the boards when we finish this episode. Now I think of it, and I have the money.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I miss it. I miss it.
yeah, yeah. It's pretty awesome.
It
Cool,
is
cool,
awesome.
cool.
Now, how do we glue this shit? Because normal PLA Plus, cannot be glued with plastic glue. It does not
No,
work.
it doesn't.
And
No,
super
and it
glue doesn't work well.
no, obviously.
Have you got any ways that you like to do it?
Honestly, it was my first time trying this, and I used super glue. And on the back side, I bought one of the. Oh, I bought a little tool that actually welds the plastic
Oh,
together.
did you buy one of the pens?
Yeah, so like you put like a little stud
Oh,
there, and then you fuse them together.
right.
However, that doesn't mean that it will stay exactly where it is anyway. It still flexes. And super glue, once you get water on it, it kind of starts decomposing. Really, it
Yeah.
starts losing its strength. Um, so yeah, I super glued the helmet. There's like a joint here and on the side here. While I was wet sanding the first wet sanding layer, I managed to crack it pretty much exactly where the line
Oh,
was. So, and yeah, I was freaking devastated when I saw that. So like, fuck me, it was almost there. Like, just one more coat of sanding, and I could have sprayed on the colors of it. Oh my god, yeah.
yeah. I understand.
So
So, what I found that I like to do with gluing stuff is I'll use super glue to tack it in position, almost like a
yeah,
tack weld. Like, say, if I was doing two halves of a chess piece, right? I would use super glue to get it in position, let it
yeah,
dry. Once I like it, when you're printing, especially with like a shitty printer, you'll always have bits of random filament laying around, right? Like just this, that, whatever. Bits that don't work, even failed prints that are like to the right shape.
yeah.
What I do, get a soldering iron, right?
Uh,
Now this is don't breathe this shit in, right? Like whenever I say shit, it's always asterisk. Use P like PPE, right?
yeah, yeah,
Cool. We got that out of the way. You can do it with a nice broad tip on the soldering iron, or if you have um one of the ones with the screw tips, you can actually screw a screw in there so it's a flat surface, right?
yeah,
And then what you do is literally you get that nice and hot, you feed in a bit of solder, you go blop, 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 and you just fill up that valley with new PLA and you melt it together. You are literally welding it together with heat and
yeah.
PLA. that is the best and strongest way that I know of to join, because it's just
Yeah.
like it was made that way. Like it responds to heat, and a
Yeah.
soldering iron, even a cheap one from like the cheapest place you can think of, Harbor Freight, fucking Amazon, Crazy Class, wherever you're from, man. Like that will get it hot enough that you can work that material in. Even
Yeah.
sometimes failed prints, like I did Storm Trooper, a Clone Trooper Mark II helmet that I gave to my little brother. The bottom of it, where it sits on the build plate, didn't actually form properly. All
Yeah.
I did, or actually no, it formed in too deep, and no one could fit their head in there. So I cut it out, which means I had layers like this that weren't formed together. I literally just got a
Yeah.
soldering iron and formed it back together and sanded it smooth. Like
Okay.
you can do a lot with heat. So heat
Yeah.
guns as well if you need to bend shit. Like if
Yeah.
it's a little skew, if like say if you've made a Mando chest piece and it's like just a little bit too sort of like that,
Yeah.
bend it out slightly. Not heaps, but just enough to fit you. Instead of it being like this angle, you need to bend it out slightly. Just hit it with a
Yeah.
little bit of heat, just slowly. You can do that. You can
Yeah.
manipulate it, but using that soldering iron with the screw on it, just get it nice and do it along. Let it dry. Let it heat. You can do more later if you need to, and then just rip through with a nice high grit on your sander, like
Yeah.
120. Like get it down
Take it
there.
all off.
Yeah, and then start your process of like what we talked about earlier, filling
Yeah.
landlines
Yeah.
and things like that.
For sure.
And the cool thing is then you're actually sanding something that is the same consistency as the rest of your project, which
Yeah.
means you don't get valleys and stuff like that. Like you just sand it down, and once it becomes even, it's all even. It's all measured together. Yeah. That's how I would
Nice.
glue that. Or you can actually buy 3D printing pens. Like
Yeah.
they literally take filament and you can do it that way as well. I view that as the commercial way of doing what I just said. The
Yeah.
fancy way.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Yeah.
at least with the soldering iron though, you can actually heat up both sides as well as the medium you're putting in between to make a good
Yeah.
join.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
Wise words. Wise words. I wish I heard those before I glued my helmet
all you had to do was ask, man. I'm here 24/7.
together. Yeah. Yeah. Well, live and let learn, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So if you were a member of the Patreon, you would have done that.
Yeah. Oh.
But this is
Yeah.
what we're
No.
here for. This is so when people do buy 3D printers, they hear this and they go, "Ah,
We make
cool.
the mistakes, so you don't have to.
That's right. We fuck up, so you don't gotta."
Exactly. There's a. I've heard something that there's also a product called PLA Gloop or something like that, or
Yeah.
3D printing Gloop, which is supposed to actually
Yeah.
work with PLA, but I
I
don't know.
believe
I can't
people
find a
make
product
that
in Europe,
too.
so yeah.
Hold
Uh,
on. I remember. Yeah, PLA Gloop. It is a thing.
yeah,
It's $34 though for 120 mils.
yeah. So it's expensive as fuck. So and I don't
So
think I could find it here either.
yeah, we
So
got it here, but it just comes down to you can like you talk to any mechanic or someone that works with their hands, you can spend top dollars getting a tool to do a job.
yeah,
But a lot of the time you just make the tool.
yeah,
Right? Like the amount of
yeah,
mechanics that go, oh, this is the thing I made. It does this one job. Oh, couldn't
yeah.
you have bought a tool? Yeah, I could have, but it's $1,000. Right? Like
Mhm.
that's usually how it goes. I'm sure you get the same thing being a Sparky as well. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
would have done that way, but it's very expensive.
Yep.
So you could do a Luma Luster if you're rich. We're not rich here in the hobby table.
No, definitely not. But yeah.
Hopefully now we have an editor. We're on the fast track to that, but we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
I
No,
had
but
someone say I
exactly.
had someone say to me the other day, like we were talking about it, and they're like, do you make much money? I'm like, no, not really. Like, it's more about the community than money. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, do you think you'd make more money if you focused on just one subject? I'm like, yeah. If we did this podcast just on Warhammer, we'd be 4 times the size that we are.
Yeah,
But I don't care.
probably.
I don't want to be a Warhammer podcast.
Not
You know,
another Warhammer podcast.
it's been
It's a
done to
dime in a
death.
dozen. Yeah,
It's been done
it's
to
a dime
death,
in a
man. I
dozen.
would rather just throw shit at people that's cool that I'm passionate about than just talk about the same subject to death. You know?
Yeah.
I'd rather talk about WWE every week than do a Warhammer podcast. Soon, TM.
Oh lordy, yeah. Oh, it's been. Have you? Do you have any 3D printing things that happened to you, and did you figure out a solution for it?
Yes. So quite early on, I didn't realize that beds can unlevel themselves on printers, as in temperature and just printing projects can put them out of whack. So I printed a project and then went to print another project and it just ate shit. And I'm like, what the hell? It can't be out of level. Blah, 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 blah. Tried another one, tried a benchy, it failed. And then eventually I was like, okay, I'm just gonna level the bed, like make sure double sure. Sure as shit, one of the springs at the back had just like lifted up a bit and it was not level. And once I did that, it was fine. Obviously, like, you need to look at what your printer's doing and you need to surround yourself with people that understand these sorts of things, right? So, like, I'm in probably 3 or 4 Mandalorian cosplay groups because they all 3D print their stuff. And, like, I don't talk to them all the time, whatever, but, like, if I have a print, I'm trying to go, what's wrong with it? I can ask those people what's wrong with it. Because sometimes it's that, your offset's not right, or, you like I said, you got a clog, or, there's a billion things that can go wrong. Obviously, if you have something like what Obi has, it's a bit more plug and play. But if you get like a Creality Ender 3 or an Ender 3 Max Neo like I have, it can be anything. It can be a hot end. It can be that your fucking the what is it, like the conveyor belt things, the rubber things, they're not tight enough. Like your tracks, it can be anything like that. So like, give your machines the once over or whatever. But if it's out of your depth, that's okay too. Start asking on Reddit. Start asking people that understand. Take pictures. Look at your slicer settings. That can be a problem too. Ask people. Go, hey, look, these are my slicer settings. What do you think? And people that have more experience than you will be jump in and be like, oh, try this, try this. They might be wrong, but they might be right.
Yeah. Most of the time, if they've been doing it longer than you, they're probably right.
Probably.
So yeah, no, it's
Usually
it's
how it
good.
goes.
Surround, like that's kind of a good tip that I have. Like, surround yourself with confident people that know what they're busy with, and you can ask them. Like,
Yeah.
we're not know-alls either, so like we're still struggling with things. Like, I'm still having, every now and then I'll have a failed print as well. Like, I had one this night, so it happens.
The thing with us is like, apart from the couple of hobbies that we have a lot of years into, like Warhammer and whatever, most of our stuff is we're very much that situation of like the teacher that just stays one lesson ahead of their students. That's sort of us. So like, we might not know everything about 3D printers, but we hope to know just a little bit more than you do when you get into it, so we can still be helpful. You know what I mean? Like, and there's probably people in the Discord that know a lot more about it than we do as well. Like, we're not experts in everything, but because we have such a dope community, that's why we do this. That's why we have the community. Because it's like-minded people. We've all got, whatever going on in our brains that makes us a bit weird. And everyone there's super lovely.
The little tizzle.
So, well, yeah. Resin with the tism, you know?
That's for you, Norcree. Oh no, for sure. Yeah, no, it's been a great hobby to get into. I think if I'm looking back at the decision I made when we bought the 3D printers at first, when you went to PLA and I went with the resin, I think I kind of regret getting the resin printer at this point, because especially this machine, because it's so freaking easy. Like it just works 95% of the time.
Yeah.
It just works, and there's the community page for the printer itself. There's print profiles there. Everything's ready. It's just select what you have, select what you want, and just send it to printer, and
Yeah.
it works. It's
I
just so easy. If I would have gotten this one first, I would have probably printed out a Mandalorian armor or two already.
I think for me, I wish I had spent a little more and bought a bamboo and just been done
Yeah,
with it, or a resin.
yeah,
My printer's alright, but it just I didn't realize it until long after getting it. But a lot of people say like it's a great printer if you like tinkering with it and replacing stuff, because eventually
yeah,
you have to upgrade the fuck out of it. And it's like, well, by the
yeah.
time I've upgraded that, I've spent what I would have spent on a bamboo. So why
Exactly.
not just get the bamboo? You know.
Yeah.
Um,
And
and I
that's
don't.
kind of the selling point for that printer, is that if the actual things that you're 3D printing is your hobby and not working with the 3D printer, get a
Yeah,
bamboo.
yeah,
And and
that's
that
where
sold
I'm
me
at.
straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
and I mean, like, I'm imagining they're quite easy to work on as well. Like the parts are just like click
yeah,
in, click out. Yeah. Whereas these are like
basic
fucking, like
things everywhere,
yeah, shit
bolts
everywhere.
everywhere, you have to keep
Yeah.
everywhere.
So I think you've sold me. I think next Patreon, yeah, next time we buy something for the podcast with our Patreon money next year, when we
Yeah.
cash out again, I think I'm probably going to get a bamboo or a resin, depending on where I'm at by then.
Yeah.
Because I really want to be able to print my own anime figures.
Yeah.
That's a big thing for me. I want to be able to print like. There's a lot of really cool stuff on Etsy, like custom sculpts of like Vegeta and Goku and that. I want to really work on that manga style painting, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I think I'd
Yeah.
get a lot of kick out of that with my painting skills, you know? I did
Yeah.
I painted up a Kratos controller holder recently for a friend. I don't know if you saw that, but I fucking killed it, man.
I
I
don't
had a
think I
lot of
did
fun
actually.
doing it, but it probably won't show up too well on the camera. But
Oh, dude, that is nice. I don't think you showed me that, to
yeah,
be
I definitely
honest.
put it in the thing. But like you can see, the head's quite large, just like that. But like I
Yeah,
even made the eyes look organic and like the
yeah.
beard. I
That's solid
freehanded
work.
the tattoo. That's freehand. So I was like, yeah, dude, like hell yeah, you know,
That's impressive.
yeah.
Yeah.
I really outdid myself on that one. I feel. Yeah. All right. Well,
Nice.
have you got anything else to add to the 3D printer topic?
Wear PPE if you're going to do sanding, and
Yep.
especially if you're gonna use spray paint, spray cans, use it then too, because
Yep. Or if you're melting
Christ,
plastic.
Christ Almighty, I think I might have snorted out a bunch of black paint over the past couple of days, and I think I might have done something to my lungs. But use
You'll be right.
PPE, like yeah, it'll buff out soon enough,
Be fine.
but be a little bit preventive. Like one time's probably fine, but if you're gonna do it like day in day out,
It
you're
depends where you're doing it to. Like, I usually spray paint outside when there's a nice breeze. So, like,
yeah,
the paint's getting taken away from me. But,
yeah,
like, depending on where you live and where you're doing it and stuff like that, obviously,
yeah,
like an airbrush setup, have, like, your extraction fans,
yeah,
whatever you can do.
yeah. I didn't have the opportunity to, because it's so big. It doesn't fit in my airbrush booth, and if I
Yeah,
did it in a garage, I have to have it closed because it's winter time now. Like
yeah.
I can't spray paint at minus
Cold as
20.
fuck.
So yeah, The paint basically freezes before it reaches the model. So.
Little icicles of black hitting it.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so
Oh,
yeah,
that's Sweden.
PP definitely recommended.
Yeah.
Oh right, I didn't show off the bolt pistol that I'm working on too.
Yeah, it's dope.
I've just finished printing this one actually, so I haven't done anything more besides having it here on
Yeah.
the desk. So
I really want to do, like I said, Imperial Guardsman armor.
yeah,
Like the flak armor, and figure out a way to make like the casing fit over an M4 gel blaster and just get
yeah.
out there on the field and you know. Did I tell the story
Yeah.
about my IKEA cabinet on this, or was it on the previous thing? I haven't told it here, have I?
No, it's on the Patreon episode.
Man, this fucker over here, this cabinet, look on the ground, all that is glass. The other day, making dinner at the other end of my house for no reason, because Australia has a weird climate. My door's just like, heard it from the other end of the house, man. Just glass everywhere. That's all over my models. It's all on the floor. I've cleaned, brushed all up into a pile, but I have to actually bring my wheelie bin into my house on the weekend and like scoop it up. There's so like it's kilograms of glass, dude. Kilograms.
Yeah, that door is fucking heavy. I have one.
Fucking wild. Wild. Anyway. Yeah. Are you done with 3D printing?
I
Like the
think
subject?
so. I think so. I'm still working on the whole process thing and everything. So, but I am probably willing to actually start selling these things if maybe not officially sell them, but like since to Patreon people and to people in the server, I'll probably extend my
Yeah.
services
Yeah.
if it comes to it. But we'll do different price levels for the finishing of it.
Yeah.
So let me figure out some stuff, and I've already put out like a folder with all the items that I have in the general chat. So if
That's
there's
a certain
anything,
TM.
yeah, it's a soon TM. Like I want to get through my personal stuff at least, and then I'll probably
This is
take home.
exactly how your commission painting goes. I want to get through my stuff first, and then I'll start the commissions.
Yeah,
That's one commission. I'm over this hobby. Let's go do something
Yeah.
else.
Something like that.
We'll see how
No,
many I
but
can bang out before I rotate.
yeah, something like that. No, but I'm still in the honeymoon phase of this stuff. So I think once I've actually put the helmet together and have that one ready, I'm gonna be ecstatic to get more done, especially the Mando stuff. Because, like I said, the Mando helmet I can print in one piece. That's gonna save so much work, especially on a bamboo because
Yeah.
it's such good quality. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, all right. Yeah, I think that's me.
You know, one cool thing that fucking I want to do with the whole fucking 3D printing thing is, like you said, start our own little Mandalorian clan, because a friend of mine, Hannah, she has a full Ayla Sakura cosplay she used to wear, right?
Okay.
But the shit side to wearing it is she had to paint her whole body blue. But she has the proper lecus, like they're latex lecus.
Okay.
You can actually buy Mandalorian helmets that have like STLs that have the holes for the lecu in the back.
Holy
So-
shit, that's cool.
So we want to have like it, so like her and I can both dress up as Mando, and Tara's gonna as well.
Yeah.
And then we can go to cons and stuff, and she can have the leku that she bought and paid a bunch of money for, and still be like a Twi'lek, but without having to paint her whole body up and shit.
Yeah, oh, that's sick as fuck.
And Tara wants an armorer style one, not the armor from Mandalorian, but like a spin on it. So like
Yeah.
the similar skirt with just the breastplate and like this the cool helmet and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the fluffy shoulder
Yeah.
pads.
Yeah, that
Fuck
sort of
yeah.
shit. So
That's nice. Dude,
I think it's
can you
gonna look
imagine
wicked.
if I could take that stuff with me that I finished and we'd be a fucking clan going around on cons?
Dude, I just wish you lived over here. Stop living in Sweden, damn it.
Yeah, it's cold here, so I'm done.
It's never cold here, brother. Never.
Yeah, exactly. I'll probably sweat my ass off all the time.
That's
Even
fine.
instead.
You won't get fat.
Yeah.
Just be sweating out all the fat, yeah?
Sweat out the fat. Yeah.
That's right. What did I say? Sweat
Alrighty.
is your fat crying? uh, anyway, today, music review. We always do a music
Yeah.
review. As this is, in fact, a music podcast, thinly veiled as a hobby podcast. We know that. We all know this. What are we talking about today, Obi?
Oh man, the controversial new album from Linkin Park.
Oh, From Zero, I believe it's called.
Correct, from Zero. You
It's
want me to?
funny. You can go and give your take, but we're not negative people. So
No,
just keep that in mind.
no. And like that's where the internet comes in. And it's just like it ruins stuff before you even get to it yourself. Like I've had
Mm.
so many bad reviews about, so like, okay, I'm not gonna bother with it. And then when you were like, oh, listen to this song, it's like, oh, okay. And then it just kicked off. Like, I, this is good for me. This is good. Like they released the Emptiness Machine, uh, and then Heavy as the Crown after, and
Yeah.
then finally Two Faced.
Yeah.
And like, my God, it's been good. Like I like it a lot. Like the voice, Emily brings an interesting dynamic to the whole band. Like, of course, it's not Chester. Nobody can replace him. We all know that. But this is still Linkin Park to me, and this comes closer to the original Paper Cut album
The first two
that
albums,
they get.
Hybrid
The
Theory
first
and
two,
Meteora.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. This comes closer than their later stuff, and I'm all for it. Like they have a few songs here and there that I'm like, it isn't the best, but like 80% of this album, fucking bangers.
It definitely has more of a metal direction
Yeah,
than a punk. Because
yeah,
they sort of
that's
went
more
from
new
metal to
metal.
go more towards punk.
Yeah,
Like with Minutes to Midnight or whatever. Like after Meteora, they sort of deviated off. And like, that's fine, do their own thing. But I wasn't as much of a fan of that work.
no, me neither. Me neither.
And I think that crucially with her vocals, it's familiar, but not the same. It doesn't sound
Yeah,
like an imitation. I forget
no.
it's a chick and that it's not Chester sometimes when I'm not listening hard because it
Mm,
still fits the same range and the same sort of attack. But
yeah,
she's not trying to be Chester. That's just her vocals.
yeah,
She's not
yeah,
trying to be him. And I think that any male you had to put in that position, they would have had to try to be Chester.
yeah. I
Because
know
they
what
went
it.
with a female, I think that it's a much better choice because now it can be its own thing. Right?
Exactly.
Like, and I respect people who are like, nah, this ain't for me. I want to bow out. But I think it's crucial as a musician as well, like me and you, Obi, that to reiterate that a band is not the singer,
No,
right? A
so
band is
many
not
people.
one fucking person, the band. You know?
They'll bring a lot of influences and steer the band in a direction, but like I feel that Mike is his name, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Mike Shinoda, yeah.
Together with the rest of the band, they bring that old Linkin Park feel that I fell in love with when I was a kid. So
Yeah.
it's good. Like, and a bonus point was that I don't know if you've seen the Arcane series from League of Legends, but
No, but I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Heavy as the Crown is one of the season 2 episode 1 is one of the songs in there, and it's just like
Ah,
when I heard, I was like, oh fuck yeah.
there you
Ah,
go.
it's good. Yeah, it's I'm liking it. All the stuff that they have brought out, it's I think there's just like one or two songs that I'm not a fan of, but other than that, it's good. I like it. Like
Yeah,
solid eight
I
out of
think
10 for me.
8 out of 10 for you.
Yeah,
8 gold ones out of 10. That's pretty good. That's
that's
pretty good.
pretty good.
I mean, for me, like Linkin Park is something that I've obviously like moved way on from. Like in general, like I still listen to it here and there, but like it's very much in my childhood sort of thing. But I think that
Mhm.
I haven't been this interested in Linkin Park since then.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like she's a good vocalist.
yeah,
She's a great vocalist, and I think that obviously, like you said, Mike Shinoda is a big driving force of that band, creatively, like visually, audibly, all that sort of stuff. So I think that because like even if you listen to Fort Minor, his just rap projects, still sounded very Linkin Park. You
yeah,
know what I mean? It wasn't Linkin Park, but you're like, I get it. So I think that a lot of what is Linkin Park does come from Mike and the other guys in the band. I think that having her there, yeah, she's not Chester, but she's not supposed to be.
no,
And it's the same as like people going, oh, with the Pantera tour, I still say all the time, oh, this is the Pantera, it's a cover band. Yeah, okay, but they're not writing music that way. They're just touring. Rex
yeah,
and Vinny, Rex and Phil, still did 30 years in that band. They deserve to be able to tour as Pantera. They're still
yeah,
half of Pantera, right?
exactly.
Zach is not trying to be Dime. Zach is Zach. Charlie's not trying to be Vinny. He's just trying to play well enough to honor his fallen brother. I think that's
Yeah,
okay. You can say it's all about money, and that's fine, but guess what, dude? Everything in the music industry is about money. Like it or fucking not, that's what it is.
yeah,
But I think the album overall is decent. I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10.
yeah,
Uh, I'm more of a heavy guy than this generally, but the songs that they did put out, fucking great. Really good.
yeah,
Best I've done in a while. You
for
know?
sure, for
Um,
sure.
yeah. Like I said, I'm definitely into more heavy stuff these days, but it's good music. You know?
Yeah,
So yeah,
I agree.
7 goblins out of 10 for that.
Not too bad, not too bad.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Um, cool. Cool. Now we have a new patron.
Yeah, yeah,
We love it when we
yeah.
get a new patron. So this is my buddy Aspen Whispers. Is his Discord name. Funnily enough, he's a guy that I met at work. Had a bit of a chat to him. I saved him from some loud German tourists. And yeah, we hit it off just talking about geeky stuff and battle vests and shit. And
Yeah.
I told him about my podcast because we enjoyed our conversation. And before he even got home from work, he joined the Discord, subbed to Patreon, just an ultra supporter, and we appreciate the fuck out of that.
Yeah,
Like
that
the
was awesome.
absolute
I was like,
hell out of it, man. So
what is going on? I was like, what? A new Patreon member? That's awesome. And then I
yeah,
joined the Discord show. I was like, okay, I have to see who this is because I have no
yeah,
idea. And
we
then it's
love
the
it, man.
legendary recruiter himself that got him in. Yeah, that's good. Thanks for being around.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
we look forward to hanging out more and fucking shooting the shit. And like, thing is, man, having Patreon members really does make this possible now, especially that we have an editor because we
Yeah,
gotta pay him as well.
yeah.
Like there's bills now. So you know, yeah. Tell everyone we have YouTube still as well, guys. Don't forget our YouTube
Yeah,
channel. This will be up on YouTube. Um, yeah,
exactly. Then you can
fun.
see a preview of my helmet.
You can, and also tweezers,
Some
um, a little bird ring, and a Floyd Rose bar.
nippers.
Oh,
Oh.
twins!
Oh Lord.
Awesome,
Cool.
guys.
Cool.
Well, thanks for joining us today, guys. Obi, thank you for braving the Arctic cold to make it to your recording den in the igloo.
It's fine. I kept warm against some polar bears.
Uh-huh.
Fur
And I
is
thought they
nice and warm.
smelled bad on the outside.
Oh Lordy.
There's a Star Wars joke for you guys. Alrighty, well, until next time, guys, remember to crank that out.
Slay that ring.
We are Max the Hobbiton. Peace, motherfuckers.